Hi.
Hey, mommy, go. There she go. Looking beautiful. How are you? How are
Thank
you?
you. You're looking nice yourself. It's so
Thank
great.
you.
Yeah, Aquarius is really taking the covers off, isn't it?
Yeah, waking us up,
Oh, you
huh?
think now's the time.
Yeah, so I just want to say thank you. I'm honored to have you here today on this Friday. It's so beautiful here in LA.
Yes.
It's been a minute. We need to talk about the collective consciousness, spirituality, and the growth. The age of the Aquarius. What's going on? What's new? It's like we got the perfect person on today for everything internal, everything spiritual, everything metaphysical. I think you have it. So before we get into the deep talk, right? In this deep discussion, can you by the way, guys, anyone's watching or anyone who doesn't know, Jolie is, I call her my spiritual advisor, my healer. She cleans out my chakra, throat chakra, sacral chakra, third eye, all those things. If I have any problems in a relationship, business, I want to make a powerful, important decision, Jolie helps out with that. So, but I do see you doing makeup on your
Yeah.
platform a lot, and you have your
Yeah.
name, Meditation Makeup. Can you give
Yeah.
us a synopsis of what is that all about?
Yes.
Can you explain?
I believe that sometimes people see spiritual advisors and transformational coaches, people
Yeah,
who are very, um, it's mutually exclusive makeup and you want to be holistic, and that means no makeup, that means eating right, organic, all that good stuff. And it's
right.
important to be cruelty free. But in my personal journey, I have worn makeup due to my own personal issues, and through that I have seen transformation. So for me, I have allowed myself to be open because healing looks so different for so many different people. And to
Yeah,
pigeonhole it and to put it in a box means that we cannot expand and we cannot grow. And loving makeup and loving fashion, you can be just as connected, you can be just as conscious and holistic as you can if you were, Paramahansa Yogananda meeting Stevie Nicks. I mean, as long as your heart is pure and your mind is clear and you have a practice and a ritual, you're kind to others, you do self-care, you care for others, the environment, and you just spread joy. That is in and of itself a very powerful vibration. And
yeah,
makeup or no makeup, we all know joy is the best makeup. But if whatever makes you feel comfortable and makes you feel transformative, that's what you do. And I happen to like to heal in full glam, baby. So that's just how it goes.
I think that should be a makeup line. Healing and full
Yes,
glam, baby. You
full
know what I mean?
glam, baby. So
Healing
for me,
glam.
it allows me to show up at 100. And that's all. It just makes me feel good about me.
Well, congratulations on that new finding of that uh, side of you, because I think what happens with all of us, I always say, what we do is not who we are, right? It's like,
Yeah.
oh, you're a fitness trainer, oh, you're a TV personality, you're a healer, you're a motivator, you're a guru. It's like, yeah, somewhat, but I'm more than that. I can put on
Yes.
makeup, I can be fly, I can be edgy, I can be
Yeah.
straightforward, I can play cool. I can play fake if you want to be fake. We can play that role too, right? It's like we have more than just one side of us, and I think
Right.
what I've seen from you on your makeup journey is that
Yeah.
every week or every day or every so often it's different, but it's
Yeah.
still glowing and growing, healing with the makeup and the glam. So
Yeah.
shouts out to you, and everybody. I should go watch her page. She's always doing tutorials and makeup, and I think it's a different. Here's it is. I think what you found, everything is spiritual. Let's be clear about that. But it's about how do you find the spiritual you in everything you do, right? So
Yeah.
before I get on meetings, before you'll have conversations, depending on how I'm feeling, I make sure I put a prayer out in the universe. I make sure I
Yes.
bless the conversation. I good energy. I have the right intentions that I'm coming from a place of love, and it actually makes the meeting that much more promising, that's that much more fulfilling, because it's not like, oh, I'm going to get a meeting so I can close the deal. Oh, I'm going to get a meeting so I can make money. I
Right.
like to put the spiritual side in it, because it makes it more like, whatever happens will happen. Whatever we'll get from this, I'll appreciate, good or bad, because that's the reality.
Yeah.
Um, but I think, just in general in life, man, it feels good as a man, right? To have a woman like yourself to guide me spiritually, to help me understand what I'm thinking, to help me understand what I want to feel, what I want to think. And I think a lot of times, from a male perspective, and I could be wrong, I think outside looking in, either women or the world don't think men can be spiritual unless it's in the church, unless it's all the scriptures and quotes from out of the Bible or the Quran or whatever, right? Or that a guy can't take care of himself, that he can't get facials, that he can't get manicures and pedicures.
Yeah.
Not that it's a bad thing. I just think it's time for more of the guys and the fellas in all spaces to tap into their spirituality, tap into their power, tap into that higher self, because it's beautiful. Once you understand what it feels like and what it can do, not only for yourself, but for the women in our life. I was telling a friend
Yes.
a while ago about, when you're not with your wife or your significant other, you need to be praying for her. That's what it means to take care of her and nurture her and keep her secure. Because a woman can be fine, the relationship can be financially secure and stable, but it might not be emotionally and spiritually stable. So that might make her feel uncomfortable or indifferent at times, because if you don't have no spiritual currency, the physical currency will run out and it won't be nothing to keep the relationship tight. So can you just talk, just like, what is your approach to spirituality, and what does it mean to you, and how is it important for people not to be an advocate of, or just at least understand it?
Once you really understand spiritually, you understand the best part of you. So the journey begins really within. Of course, we need to have a guideline. Churches are good and things of that nature. But once you begin to take the journey of questioning and being curious about how you operate and your rhythm, you're automatically aligning with spirit and wanting to raise that vibration. So to get curious about loving you, like, oftentimes I know the male energy, because we both have male and female energy. And when we seek to integrate that, our lives really come together. Nevertheless, the male energy is oftentimes uses outside of himself as a guide. We all do as humans. And there's a very competitive, assertive nature. And so it's like, if we can remember that we are our own competition. I need to make myself happy. And and in that, you wind up becoming more spiritual. Now, I don't mean narcissistic, right? That's when you don't care about others. But when you can care about you and utilize self-care, that means you begin to care about others and their service that is done. So as a man, to get into the spirituality of things is to take some time and be open to looking at how things make you feel. Honestly. And that don't mean you have to share it with other people, but it just means that when you go in your cave, instead of just tinkering, while you're tinkering with things, work out, how does this make me feel? When my woman wants affection in public, how does that make me feel? And why do I feel that way, instead of just automatically retracting from it? Or when you're in certain situations and you're nervous and you don't know what to do, honoring that in that moment, and then utilizing the skills to research and to ask questions and to not be so afraid. Because what happens in this society is we judge men. We really judge them, and we expect for them not to cry, not to be sensitive, not to be just stoic. And what that does, creates this stagnation within our men, where it's difficult to feel vulnerable. So that's aspect of spirituality, is allowing for that female part of you, your intuition, to know around who you are safe. That's another thing. Instead of just us involving ourselves with certain people, creating a safe space for yourself as a man and knowing who you can speak with and talk to and share with is also very important. And that raises a vibration and really brings up brings us into another spiritual dimension when we open up and can be vulnerable.
Yeah.
That allows us to have more self-acceptance. So always looking inside of you and understanding how you work instead of just ignoring it and pushing it to the side because I'm a man or I'm a woman and I need to just do this. No, actually pause and breathe and connect with yourself. And the male energy is allowed to do that. That's just exactly what it looks like. Wait a minute. I'm feeling a certain way. I'm connecting with that. So let me take myself out of this situation and go breathe and take a moment to think. That allows us to open up and to be more comfortable in our own skin. And then we know how to proceed.
Yeah. And it's beautiful because you feel when you're in that space that you're not worrying about being judged because authentically, this is who you are. This is how I feel. This is what I'm thinking. This is what I think about this situation. I might be wrong. This might hurt, but I'm afraid of myself, or I'm afraid that I don't know how to love a person. I'm afraid that I don't know how to ask for help. I don't know how to receive. And I think as a man, when you can communicate that to a woman, it gives her peace and it also gives her power because you're actually telling her how you really feel opposed to putting on the front that you're okay and everything's fine. Where deep down inside you have some issues you're trying to figure out and you thinking that you shouldn't tell no one because someone's going to judge you. And that's what powers that I've learned. And you always would say, because I'm so giving and so loving that I will always give my power away. And he was like, the same energy you give to people, you have to give that to yourself first. Because the more you're filled up and the more you love you, the more it's easy for people to give you the same in return. So this journey of spirituality, and I've been spiritual since I was like really young. But as I got older, you really taught me how to own it. Because I was afraid of my power. He was like, look, we're looking for someone to step up. We're looking for I'll be crying on the phone like, oh my God, what is she talking about? She's hitting a nerve. Oh my God. It made me feel comfortable, and you never made me feel like I couldn't tell you the truth, And it was like, that made me more confident about my truth. So when I am talking to a family member, when I am talking to a spouse or significant other or a friend, it's smooth. I'm more strong, and I'm not kind of like timid or stepping on eggshells. I'm like, no, this is how I feel. Yeah. This is where I'm at, and this is like creating those strong boundaries because sometimes, like we always say, family is the greatest challenge when it comes to creating boundaries, especially when we think they really, really need us. So I tell anyone listening that's going to watch this, tap in with self and understand, like Jolie said, what is your spirituality? What is it like? What does it look like for you? What does it feel like? Not what your mom, your grandmother, what they think. What do you think?
Yeah, it's always a great thing to do is apply everything that you've learned throughout time, and you apply it to you and you say, well, this works for me. This doesn't. This works for me. You have free will. And we need to remember that on the most basis level is that we have guides, our parents, our teachers, our families, but at the same moment, we have free will. And it's important that we understand how we operate. And especially as a man, there's so much power in knowing your chakras and your soul architecture and how that works, and to be able to influence your environment. So really feeling in your body is important so that you know how to step into something and proceed. So Aquarius is really helping us all with that because, as you can see, truth is like the word of the year. Speaking the truth, having integrity, having honor in business, because if not, it's going to get revealed. And so it's just important that we continue to speak and live our truths in ways that, listen, we have both masculine and feminine energy, and we really need to learn how to work with both. We as women and we as men have to learn to take responsibility for both the goddess in us and the God in us. And that's about your chakras is all about, because sometimes we women, to be conscious, we have to step up and maybe take over for our man. And sometimes our men have to understand that our women require softness, That's sometimes what's missing in a relationship. I'm seeing a lot of people want to compete with their mate, and it's like There's no competition here. We're on the same team. So it's like those, you know, also being conscious is realizing, taking a step back and realizing how much resentment you may have in your heart for your mate, and realizing that that's yours and that you've got to drop that. So whatever you need to do to get rid of that is necessary, because there's no room for resentment, rejection, and regrets in the heart going into 2021, because it's cause us to trip and fall and have issues in our relationships. Aquarius is all about communicating as well. It's the great communicator. So it's really time for us to learn how to speak our truth and articulate it. We have so much stuff out there. I don't know if you guys, I know you've heard of it, the holistic psychologist. She has done the work. She has like written that book for work through and articulate and name all of our traumas, to be able to let go and to move in something that is joyful. Like if we look at that chart Hawkins has, right? And he talks about emotional levels. We know that joy and freedom is at the top. Yeah. So that is like the bullseye. Let's go for the joy and tell the universe we want to have joy and to be free. And then that way the universe knows where we're going and knows what to give us. So we've got a lot of programming, Eric, as well in our, you know, we live in Hollywood. So there's a whole other level of programming on top of us that live in LA sometimes. But you've got the brainwashing with the schooling, you've got the movies and the media. And so we're looking outside of ourselves all the time to find something to make us whole. And that is the long way. We really want to take time. That's why you see everywhere self-care. People are starting to get it. We're more productive. We're more connected when we are loving ourselves and taking time out for us. It's just a fact.
And it's so important, because I think people are waking up. People are more aware. People are conscious. People want to know more. People are asking questions. People are feeling. They say he or she who feels it knows it, right? And I'm a person of feeling. You know, we're Pisces, so we're very sensitive, you know, and emotional. We can feel things that maybe others can at a time. But I think that what comes with life is the truth of reality and people. So what I've been experiencing just outside looking in at the world, and maybe you can help me understand this, or maybe you can understand as well, is that I think at least in America, we have a problem with people having a truth about something that don't represent them, and that triggers us, right? So if a person doesn't like color of my skin, if a person doesn't like how I talk, I feel like that's bad. You can't do that. That's not right. Now, from a general perspective, big picture, maybe it is, but I'm the type of person to say, okay, well, that's fine. It doesn't bother me. But you know what? You're a person. You have a life. Where does that come from? Why do you feel that way? Where is that truth coming from for you? Because you have a different reality than I do. Maybe you can help me understand your point of view or your perception, instead of me being triggered every time someone says something that goes against what I believe. Then the energy is fighting. So now no one's learning, no one's growing, no one's evolving, because it's about, no, you're wrong, I'm right, that's not right, you're wrong. It's like, no. Hold on. We cannot. It's like we want people to be the way we think they should be for our benefit. That's not right. Like, because that's not who they really are in the moment of whatever the situation is. So I discovered that you have to accept people for who they really are and not what you want them to be. Because now you're manipulating yourself to make someone be what you want. And it's like everyone's hiding behind these masks and, you know, playing a role for a job. And it's like, you're not even being your authentic self. And then when things come up, everyone's shocked. Like, oh my God, I couldn't believe this person would say that. It's like, no, you don't know the person. No one is being really authentic, because in society and in the world, we've been programmed to put on a mask. We've been programmed to put on a suit, to put on that nurse, whatever it is, put on a uniform. And so we're covering up who we really are. So the real self doesn't come to the surface until it's too late. And I call it the shadow side, and it erupts. Robbie Greene, in his book, The Laws of Human Nature, he said, your shadow self, your shadow side is a part of who you are. It's okay.
Absolutely.
But the bad thing about it for most people, we suppress it, right? So by suppressing it, we can't give it its blessing. So then it blesses us at the wrong time and
Right.
it ruins us, right?
Yep.
And so
That,
we don't know how to accept the other side of who we are. And then when it comes up, it gets us in trouble. And the timing is
yep.
off. So can you speak on like the shadow self and, why people, I can't say why, because I guess I know why, but maybe can you elaborate why people get so triggered by someone having a different opinion than them or believing in something they don't believe in, or what's wrong? Why don't people like that?
You know what it is? It is, I'll give you an example. We have been taught or programmed almost that when we're with people and someone is the center of attention and goes, oh my gosh, you're so beautiful, it is as if they have taken our beauty away, or they have taken our, like we are no longer beautiful. That's kind of how we've been programmed and taught, that when you have a difference of opinion, that I cannot live with that. I have to fix that for you, because we are all involved in interrupting other people's free will. So if
Mm.
somebody has an issue with you and somebody doesn't like the color of your skin, right there, that is a low vibration. Move on. That's it.
Hold on. Say that again.
How you deal with that. That's exactly how you deal with that. Oh, okay. Well, you believe that people should, I don't know, do crazy stuff in the White House. Okay, that's what you believe. I want you to believe that. And I want to give you all the space that you need over there to go over there and believe that, because I believe in free will, and it takes a lot of people's world to go around. So the reason why people are triggered is because they think it's saying something about them, when in all act, it's not saying anything about you. It's just saying, give that person their space. Let them do them, and you go over here and you do you. And so once we understand that, when I recognize the beauty in you, Eric, because you're gorgeous, you're a good-looking dude, and that is not from it's just a spirit and a soul recognizing one another's beauty. That doesn't take anything away from the next man or the next woman. That's just, we should all allow for people to have their shine. I had to learn that because I also suffered with jealousy and envy and that. And I got to the point where I was like, this is nonsense. Like, you know what? It's none of my business what a person has, what they do, where they go. That is none of my business. Let me be about my life, and let me focus on the things that I want. I want joy in my life. So if I see someone out there in a joyful state, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go up to them and I'm going to say hi. Or I see somebody who's beautiful. You are beautiful, because that's recognizing the beauty in me. So when you are triggered and you feel as if the shadow is coming up, you are holding on to a picture of your past. So what you do always, you take a moment and you breathe and you deal with that picture. You were on the 5th grade playground. That's the root of why you're being triggered. And you were pushed down and then everybody laughed at you. You're driving and that picture comes up. Deal with it. Be like, okay, for inner child work. You go back and you say, this is my trigger here. Let me go ahead and work with my inner child and soothe it and let it know in situations where it's being embarrassed and humiliated. I need to protect that. I need to start to clap back, especially you introverts. You should really start to think about preparing yourself for those times when you need to have space between you and another person. It's okay to push back with grace and ease. So a lot of us not being sabotaging ourselves is once again goes back to not having our thoughts clear about who we are and how we operate with those boundaries, so then we can articulate and communicate what we need from another person, or else we are unable to have the level of neutrality that we need to understand that that is out there for them and this is out here for me, and let me be about my business. We are really involving ourselves in other people's business way too much, and we want to focus in on ourselves. But we are in a culture where, there are a lot of beautiful women on Instagram, and if you're not careful, that can make you feel bad, but that's not you. You got to learn how to create your own lane and let her maybe show you how to do it, but just in your own way. So if we can start taking in some of these things that trigger us, if we can lean into them just a little bit It'll teach us so much more about ourselves, and it will be rocket fuel getting us to where we want to go.
Yeah, and that's right up the alley. I mean, that was one of my quotes from my day 12 of 100 Days of Wisdom. The first line reads, "Mind your business. When you mind your business, you produce more."
Yes.
We care so much about another person and what they doing and who cares? Their life shouldn't affect your life, but we've been programmed. And also to people that look at people like social media, we go off what we see and not we know. That person that might look gorgeous or attractive or beautiful, they might not feel that way.
Right.
That might be their
That's
cover
so true.
up. That might be their cover up to say, yeah, I'm this, but I don't feel that way. So beauty and attractiveness and power comes from within. And we got to work the internal to understand the external, because let me tell you something. When you get a lot of attention from a social space and you don't feel like it, it makes you feel very uncomfortable. And you don't know what to do. You don't know what to do with the attention. You don't know how to be in it. You don't know how to evolve in it, because it's like, oh my God, I'm being seen. Let me just keep making photos about me. And it's like, it's cool, but then you feel empty because it doesn't make sense. And for me, I had to realize, okay, why am I getting all this attention? And why do I not like it? So we talked about this. I had to go back to when I was young. When I was young, the attention I wanted, I didn't get. So I put the attention on everybody else. God said, oh, I'm gonna give you a big figure. When you get older, I'm gonna give you that attention that you wanted when you was a kid and show you I got you no matter what. So it was a revelation that made me think like, oh, I see. And it's for me being obedient, me being disciplined, me asking empowering questions, me going on these journeys, reading these books, seeing someone like you on basis, trying to figure out my trauma, my hurt, trying to heal, trying to evolve, trying to grow. I want to be better. What is this about? And then I got to find out what my purpose is in life. I understand why I'm here and what I need to do. And that's all I want to do. Because Mike, Mike, my manager, he says, the root of all evil is not money anymore. It's attention. And attention can on you if you're not ready for it, because you can get all types of attention. It just depends on what frequency you're vibrating at. So it's just, this age of Aquarius is exposing a lot of things in people.
Yeah.
People are waking up. We're becoming more conscious of things around us. At this stage in life, with the pandemic and the vaccine and just the world and all, what do you think the collective consciousness is at right now on a frequency level, on a scale of vibration?
I believe that a lot of us are waking up, have woken up, and are really trying to get out of zombie land, like the fear of the Walking Dead. I hope it's dying, because people are getting curious. The old systems and the archaic routines and practices that used to be there are being revealed for what they are, mind control programming. And now we've got all these, I guess, sexual monsters coming out because they're so repressed, knowing that one of the greatest ways to express yourself and to open yourself up is through sexuality and through, I'm not talking about per se, that kind of thing. I just mean being able to sell yourself, being comfortable in your own skin, asking for support, being confident. That is sexuality. That is connecting you to other people. That's what it's about. We want so often to think about it in terms of male and female and whatever, but it's really about reaching out and connecting. And so because of this Twitterverse and this social media and this connection and this great octopus of light going out to each other, I believe that now is the time that all of us are really waking up and trying to reach out, knowing that we are greater than just what we've been taught. We can do great things, and we're so curious now. So I do believe that a lot of people are also going to be very extreme, but that's what's going to help us break it all up and start again and rebuild. So I believe we're on a path of awakening, spiritual awakening, so that we can now see through. You remember the Jacobins and the French Revolution? I feel like that time is coming around again, where people are starting to go, wait a minute, wake up. This isn't right. I'm not going to take this anymore. I'm going to start taking responsibility for what my life and my environment looks like. So that's where we're moving. I believe people are, there's been extremists. We talk about what's going on in our politics and that whole thing there. There's extreme, but there's also, remember, what you chase is what you get more of. And that great movie, The Ninth Gate, right? About how Johnny Depp is chasing this book about the devil, and all of a sudden he's led down to hell. So you have to either go after the light and you stop messing with the racists, the homophobes, why pay them dust? They're not your people. They're vibrating at a very low frequency. Move into the light. Move into what it is that lights you up. That's where I believe we are going. And if not, we're going to get squeezed. I see so many people who are of a negative mindset. They're getting squeezed right now because they can't see. They have no hope. They don't love themselves enough to say, you know what, I am worthy. So the 2021 is all about, I am worthy. I am worthy. And guess what? I'm focused. I'm going for it. And that's the energy of 2021. Like, that's how I believe. Aquarius, the great communicator, they get what they want. If they're aligned, that is an energy of alignment to success. They are the water bearers, you know, and they're primal, but at the same time, they're human and they come with that abundance. So
yeah, it's interesting.
It.
So for some time, you know, me speaking my truth was so uncomfortable, you know, until I grew in it and had confidence. I was looking at my natal chart, and my Mercury sign is Aquarius. And you know, your Mercury planet and your astrology chart is how you think and communicate. So that's where my thinking and my communication comes more out of an Aquarius type of frequency. So now that people are waking up and people, you know, are getting exposed to different things, it's beautiful to see. It's also beautiful to see people, you know, being uncomfortable in a spirituality. Like, I don't know, I woke up like this is you getting, like, you got to be uncomfortable. It got to shake you. You can't just be all like, hey, this is nice. Like, no, it has to be intense so you know how to deal with it. Because if you don't, you come at the wrong time, it'll really shaking you up and you'll be running from it or you'll suppress it. And can you kind of talk on it? I think some people have like psychic attacks, or some people, when they feel suppress it because they're afraid, or they know something but they don't want to say it because they believe there's not enough confirmation around them or their environment to speak on it. But their soul is like, listen, I'm trying to give you some gems right here. You got it. So can you speak on that? Just having confidence about what comes up and what you feel.
For those of you that have psychic, you know, dreams and connections and all that and don't know what to do with it, that is a blessing and it's a gift. So what the Creator is asking you to do is learn how to utilize your intuition. So the steps that you want to take is learning about how you operate, meaning this chakra system, your aura layers, your connections to the divine, ways in which to focus your light so that it is expansive and that you can begin to be comfortable in your own skin. Because I know my story is one where I was very sick. So for those of you that have this gift and you don't utilize it and you don't listen to the divine, you will get sick. And so it's important for you to listen. So you're asking me, what do you do when people are overwhelmed by their psychic abilities, so to speak? The one thing you want to learn how to do is ground your energy into Mother Earth. That is a practical step. Another thing you would like to learn how to do is start to have conversations with yourself. It's very important that you speak to yourself, and it's not a crazy thing. Oftentimes you can see, I'm scared of this and I don't want to confront it. And another part of you goes, wait, you would like to have this. You want to get to this point. So it's important that you do X, Y, and Z. You see how that conversation can work out the dissonance that we experience, which is why we're stagnated, is because we don't know what we want to do. Hey, let's work out and get clear by having these tough conversations with ourselves and aligning with our intuition. Because although, yes, we want to be guided by the rules and the regulations that are outside of us, God works. I mean, every part of you is aligned to the divine and knows what's right for you. So the one thing that you can do when you are psychically inclined is start believing in yourself. Now, don't go ham, and you always want to have permission. You don't speak and tell people, the other day I saw a vision, your mother. No, what you want to do, you always need to ask permission before you share these things. You want to make sure that you're grounded, that you're in your body, and that you are received. So there's certain steps you want to take. The Creator is telling you, get educated around your gifts. When they start overwhelming you, it's time to move into education around your gifts and your intuition.
And it's so important. I think education in those aspects can be indifferent for people because it doesn't make sense to the mind and the logic that we create. But
right.
when you start trying to go deeper and understand, why do you feel? Why do you get these thoughts? How did you know it happened before it happened? Tap into that energy, you get more confidence. You say, you know what? I'm onto something. This is a pattern. It feels uncomfortable, but I need to learn this so I can feel comfortable in it, because maybe this is my purpose. Maybe this is how I'm a change agent or help the world grow, evolve, or transform. But it's not just in you because it's just sitting there. It's a purpose, you know?
Yeah. But think about it like this. We always want to quantify things, right? I mean, that's just how we are as scientists and as people who are educated in the Western world. Nevertheless, how do you quantify and measure a mother's love? How do you measure the grief that you feel when you lose a loved one? What is a scale of measure there? And this is where we work. This is the work that I do, is we start to be able to go back and scale some of these things in order to let the trauma release and let go. And it's so important that we begin to give our emotions value and words so that we can let them go. Oftentimes when we go full circle here, when we come back to men, it's like sometimes they don't, man, I don't know how I feel. I'm just angry. I don't know. I'm confused. And it's like, get back to your breath. Your breath is going to be the thing that is going to clear your mind out so that you can think clearly. And next steps, and we see a lot of the male energy right now betraying themselves, being so angry and feeling so disrespected enough to kill, to hurt, to maim. And that's that male energy saying, respect me, love me, pay attention to me, help me, support me. But that was never articulated. But that's what that behavior is saying, is that love me, look at me, help me, pay attention to me. So with that being said, sometimes we need to speak up and say right now, I need a hug, man. I need for you to just
for you some love. So
give me advice. I just need a shoulder. I just need someone to listen. So articulating and communicating is really a way to even manifest the worthiness. We talked about 2021 being I am worthy. That means you communicate that worthiness. You communicate it in a way that honors you and the people around you. All of the anger and the frustration that we feel belongs to us. It doesn't belong to other people. It don't belong to our mate and our children. So getting a practice and a routine and a ritual around letting go of some of your frustrations and angers is important. And that's also a part of 2021, is building up that practice, because the way things are going, things are going to blow wide open in different ways. I don't mean it's going to be terrible. There is definitely us needing to deal with our trauma, but more of us are now willing to deal with the trauma and say, hey, this didn't work for me. Stand in your truth, man. That's the way to help to move things forward, is to really stand in your truth.
Someone just asked the question. They said, do you recommend any books or material about this for them, I guess, to learn what you just...
Goodness, so many. There is E Squared, there's U2, there's Think and Grow Rich, there's the laws, Napoleon Hill has the laws of success. There's, the one that I want to tell you guys about is by Ambika Waters. It's called The Book of Chakras. There's The Wheels of Life by Judith. There is You Can Heal Your Life by Louise Hay. There is Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself by Joe Dispenza. There is, we can go on and on and on. There's books out there for you to read and to reach out. This is one of the first, I would say, is You Can Heal Your Life. Also, for those of you who are religious, there's Florence Scovel Shinn and The Game of Life and How to Play It.
That's a great book.
Yes.
Got audio. Phenomenal. And it's to the point.
Yeah, so, and there's also out there, there's Robert what's his name? Hawkins, The Eye of I, Power versus Force.
Force.
I mean, we could just go on and on. There's so many books for you to begin. And as long as you're asking that question, what books, they're going to appear to you. So you just keep asking, what books can I read? And that, trust me, you're going to see them show up in your life. So that's how it works. You know, start getting curious and answering the questions. How can I be a millionaire? And then all of a sudden, all these little millionaire things start coming to you. And you're like, oh, let me write my affirmations and listen to my binaural beats and watch these podcasts and hang out with Eric and, you know, whatever I need to do. So this is kind of the way. Another thing about Aquarius is they are very solution oriented. So it's like, get in the solution of how to get where you want to go, you know, get in the solution instead of wallowing in the problem. I had that bad, guys. So I'm just saying that when I moved into, okay, wait a minute, how do I take responsibility and solve my problems? The universe starts to answer the question and open up. But if you want to sit over here and complain and bitch and moan, you're going to stay right there, you know? So I learned that lesson the hard way. So let me learn it for you. You know, you don't have to go through that.
Right.
Just focus in on the solution.
Yeah. Well, I mean, all that stuff is phenomenal and great, and I'm getting excited just thinking about it. You just gave me some gems, you know. Just I always questions, but it's also the way you ask the questions. Let's talk. You know, wrap here. Can we talk about your vibration, increasing your frequency, increasing your vibration, searching for your truth, and what does that look like and feel like, and how does one go about that? Because I've been trying to preach it and teach it for years, and some people catch on. But the energy of things, your thoughts, where your thoughts come from, and, you know, eating healthy, working out, affirmation, gratitude statements, screaming, dancing, woo, you know what I'm saying? Really building up that energy, right? So you can be in the energy and attract the energy that you would like to be around.
Yeah, it is a practice. In order to raise your vibration, there's got to be certain things that you do every day, because it's about, you know, we all have the lighthouse effect where we go in, we get a healing, we go to a game, we do something, and we're like, rah, rah, I can do this. And then the hymns, you know, and it comes back around, but we want it to be consistent. So that's where your routine and your program comes in. When you are uncomfortable, that is the greatest information ever, is what is making you uncomfortable. That's where you want to lean in, letting go of a bad attitude, learning how, recognizing, you know what, I have a bad attitude, or I'm passive aggressive, owning, taking ownership over those things, and then seeking out ways to heal them. Boom, raising the vibration, studying the greats that came before you and placing yourself in positive places and experiences. Boom, raising your vibration. Exercising, joining a team of sports. Boom, raising your vibration. Being of service, volunteering to others, giving back. Boom, raises your vibration. So anything that makes you feel good, you know, boom, raising your vibration. And also, of course, if you want to talk about prayer, breath work, yoga, you know, Reiki, energy healing, any of these things can help you. But if you want to do it by yourself, it is to look at the things that trigger you and go, wait a second, I want less of that and more of this. And when you get to that and you start plugging away there, you have no choice but to raise your vibration. It just happens, because you have to be a certain person to reach your goals. Who I am today, I cannot be as I'm a different person as a millionaire. So that's who I'm working towards. And every day I'm seeing her and I'm reaching towards her, grabbing her. Who is she? So trying to figure that out automatically. So having a goal and reaching for that raises your vibration. So
Goal setting, good energy, good food, good people, good environments, exercise, love making, pleasure, you know, and a healthy you know, love with yourself and owning that and feeling yourself and talking to yourself, good thoughts, good affirmations. So it's so vital to just a person's progress in life. And people look at me and say, man, positive, man, you don't, it's like, people don't understand. I've been up since 6, 7 o'clock. I meditated twice. I prayed 3 times. I did my affirmations and my gratitude. And I've been out. And I had 3 or 2 other calls. You know, I'm working. We're working.
Okay,
Our
and
greatest work we have in life is on ourselves.
no, and I
So
was going to say another thing that really successful people do is they have a calendar that they 3 months, 6 months, they're, get organized. That's another way to raise your frequency of vibration is organization. Meditation, we know, breath work,
yeah, that's
man,
work.
that right there, if you can focus on seeing yourself, visualizing yourself where you want to be, and at the same time breathing calmly and your heart rate is normal, that is another way to really raise your vibration. Is because most of the time when we see ourselves where we want to be, our heart starts to beat fast
Yeah,
and we start to breathe because we
yeah.
feel unsafe. So
Uh,
take some
uh,
time to be safe, seeing yourself succeed. Take time to see yourself succeed and feel safe in that energy. That again raises your vibration. So there's just so many different ways to, but who you surround yourself with is very important.
yeah, it's so important. It's funny you say that because you know I've realized over the years success is scary and it's uncomfortable, and I have people that I know are afraid of success, and I'm always trying to figure out, not understanding why they're afraid, but why do you think people are afraid of success? I think, from my perspective, because of change and it's different.
Yeah.
Those are my two interpretations. What do you think?
Yeah, people also have challenges with responsibility and they feel like they can't take on that excess responsibility. And that
Mm,
stops, don't even know it. Subconsciously, it's like, if I get wealthy, now I'm going to have to take care of my brothers and sisters. Be okay with that. Be
yeah,
willing to do that. Be like, I'm going to take care of my brothers. If that's
yeah,
what I got to do, Creator, bring me enough money to take care of my family or to, and set boundaries around that. Like you can have fun right now thinking like, when I get my million, I'm going to set this boundary with this person and I'm going to do, like, visualize that. But oftentimes we don't feel like, it's a burden. We see success as a burden because now we're so expansive that we encompass others and we don't want to do that. We're scared. So that's
yeah.
a big deal too,
I like that. And it's so
is
good. A lot of us are afraid of our power because we don't even think we can have that, or we don't feel the, what's the word you
yeah,
say? We don't feel worthy. That was me for years.
yeah,
I,
yeah,
all my guys and friends growing up, like, oh, you guys are D1 athletes, scholarships, y'all belong in the NBA. And it's like, I remember the day I stopped playing basketball. My boy's just like, bro, why you stop? You was the only reason I was playing. I'm like, what? You guys made honorable mentions. You guys got all Metro. You guys won state titles. You guys was national champions in the country. I wasn't that because I didn't feel that, or I didn't see myself like that. So sometimes you can miss out on your greatest gift to the world by not owning your gifts. And
correct.
it's okay to be uncomfortable. It's okay to be afraid of something. But when you
Yes,
know your purpose, when you do that work, that inner work that you talk about, you'll feel more compelled to want to be in that space.
yeah.
Like, but man, fuck, let's go, man. What we got to do? What do I need to do? What fires do I need to put out? How do I need to show up? Mom, my mom's depending on me. My friends, my loved ones. Man, let's go. It's like, and then they like, yeah, let's go. And then they like, yes, go. And then, and then you have a team. And then you
Raising,
got
but
to trying to
uh,
create, positivity and abundance for everyone.
yeah, you really helped me one time just recently see that it doesn't have to be perfect. You were like, I want people to see me fail. I want people to know I'm not perfect.
Yeah,
I want people to see my mistakes. And that was so powerful to me when you said that, because like, full circle, people think that as a healer and as an energetic spiritual practice, you know what? I went through the struggle. That's the way that I know and have the knowledge and wisdom, is because I did struggle, but I
yes.
only needed to struggle to a certain point to learn. And now it's time to open the floodgates of success and abundance and those laws. It's but part of that is being authentic and letting hey, I like to wear leggings and Air Force Ones. That's my jam. I am
Right,
not in those genie shoes with those genie pants, and I'm not going to be healing you that way. You're going to
right,
see me in a one piece and some Nikes or some Chucks, and that's
right.
who I am. The makeup, and I'm just as good as the next person who may be coming to you looking like Heidi from the mountain. So we really have to be, we really have to be ready to let go of some things and some preconceived notions. Also, in 2021, because we have so many creative and amazing people that are coming in different packages. And the people that we think are over there singing Onward Christian Soldiers and are just so wonderful and bright may be the ones that are really having the deviancy, and the ones with all the piercing and the tattoos, and they're the ones that may be out there, the shamans and the ones breaking things wide open. Right. So it's time to let go of all of that. And if people are talking about race, and you know, it's an important conversation to have, but ask yourself, are you the one that needs to have it? Or are you in a frequency where it's time for you to be around people who are creating, who are spreading love and joy? And if not, how do you get there? Because I just feel like we've been having the same conversations over and over and over again, and no one's learning. So maybe if we come over to the conversation of let's create more than we consume, we might be able to change some things. Let's talk about ideas.
That's powerful. Wow.
You know, let's create more than we consume. Let's get together and talk about ideas. Let's finish our projects together. Let's look to one another to support ourselves, you know, and to build things, because we, especially in LA, sometimes we can be like on islands, you know, but it's so important for us to reach out to one another. Stay connected.
Connected, stay together. Harmony wins, love wins, positivity wins, healing wins, authentic.
Yeah.
All those. Jolie, this was like right on time. I appreciate the energy, this wisdom, this intellect that you brought to us today, and I think they appreciate it as well. This live will go up on my page. Is there anything for people to know?
Question, and they wanted to know, how do you know if the people in your life are not good for you? Because the hairs on the back of your neck stand up. People miss butterfly. You know what? Another thing I want people to know in the energy world is that butterflies in your stomach is a warning sign. That's not a sign to pursue that relationship. When you feel that anxiety right here in that solar plexus chakra, when you are talking to someone, run for the hills. That is not a relationship. That is what happens is that's a trigger from childhood. That is, you know, that person's hitting that button. So I just want you to know that who is your circle, if they make you feel uncomfortable, if they make you doubt yourself, if the hairs on the back of your neck stand up, if you feel like shit when you leave their presence, you don't want to be around them.
Let them go so you can grow and glow. Like meditate, play. So, I mean, do you have something on your Instagram bio or somewhere where they can go and like seek your work or expertise?
Yes. Meditation Makeup on Instagram. My name is Jolie Morton, but that's how you can find me. And if you DM me, 15-minute reading is always free. We can help align those lower 3 chakras, give you some good energy, because I know that I was taught that whenever you don't have enough in your life, you be of service. So I have enough, but I'm always of service so that people can pay it forward. But that's what I want you guys to know, is if you're lacking in finances and you want more, be of service. Whenever you're of service, the universe just rewards you. So service can look like anything. It doesn't mean going down to the food bank. It could mean anything, but be of service. That's how you let abundance, it just creates itself over and over again.
Living, giving. The more we give, the better we live, because it comes back. Get what you give. And if you give, also Tony Robbins said, and I'll leave with this. He said, the reason most of us or some of us are depressed or in that state is because we're focusing on ourselves. We're more internal than ego. We're easing God out, right? But when you focus on service and you're giving to someone, you can't feel depressed. You can't feel anxiety. You can't feel bad. You're not worried because you're not worried about self. You're worried about giving to someone else.
Creating. You're creating and consuming. That's what I mean. So when I talk about the focus on self, I mean so that you can align with your energy. I'm not talking about selfish, narcissistic energy. Take some time out to get to know so you know how to be of better service. You know, that goes hand in hand.
And it's beautiful. See, she gave today, I received, I gave, we all receive, and and everybody else will go somewhere to give and be service, and everyone's going to be serving the collective consciousness, and we can be great. This is miracle season. We're going to do meditation makeup, and we're going to talk to ourselves, and we're going to listen, and we're going to grow. We cannot
work it out.
No, so
This was Eric. Thank you
yeah,
so much for
I
this.
appreciate.
I really appreciate every one of you. Thank you. Take
Thank you.
care.
Love, peace, gratitude. Bye.
Bye-bye.
That was awesome. That was awesome. 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 Yeah, guys, tune in, check this out, share it, tell a friend, tell a friend. You're going to get healed after you listen to this one because Jolie Meditation Makeup just came through with the magic and the miracle. All right, guys, it's been a moment, it's been a day. On to the next. See you guys next week. Peace, love, gratitude. I'm out.